In a time when women were expected to be seen, but never heard, Laya Rainbow learned how to do both. She was born into the strict order of the Victorian age, an era of rules, rank, and rigid expectations. Society had already decided what her future should look like: polite, quiet, ornamental. But Laya had a different kind of intelligence. She noticed what others ignored. She saw the exhaustion in factory workers' hands. She heard the tremble in mothers' voices when bread prices rose. She read every letter sent to council, especially the ones that were never answered. And while men debated tradition inside polished chambers, Laya walked the streets. She listened. She remembered names. She asked questions no one else dared to ask. At first, they dismissed her. A well-dressed woman in velvet could not possibly understand governance. Her corset and gloves were considered decoration, not authority. They were wrong. When political corruption fractured the ruling council and the nation teetered toward collapse, something unexpected happened. The people did not call for another general. They did not call for another aristocrat. They called for Laya. Her campaign was not loud. It was not built on fear. It was built on trust. She stood before crowds in deep burgundy velvet, feathers resting at her shoulders like quiet wings, and spoke with calm conviction. Leadership, she said, is not about who has always ruled. It is about who is willing to serve. It was a radical idea for its time, against resistance, against ridicule, against centuries of limitation. Laya Rainbow became the first female president of her era, and history shifted. She governed with strategy, but she led with empathy. Education expanded beyond class lines. Working conditions improved. Women gained rights that had once been dismissed as fantasy. She opened doors that had never been meant to open, but the pressure being first is heavy. Every decision she made was scrutinized twice as hard. Every mistake was magnified. She carried the hopes of half the population on shoulders wrapped in silken feathers. Years passed. Her elegance never faded, but those closest to her noticed the quiet cost. Late nights, skipped meals, private coughing she insisted was just fatigue. She refused to show weakness publicly, not because she feared losing power, but because she feared her people losing confidence. Her final speech was delivered in the same style she had made iconic: velvet, gloves, posture unshaken. But her voice, though steady, carried a softness no one had heard before. She spoke of unity, of courage, of a future brighter than the past. Within months, illness claimed her life. The nation did not just lose a president. It lost a protector. Factories stopped for a day of silence. Newspapers printed black borders around her portrait. Women who had once doubted their own potential now stood taller, because she had stood first. Laya Rainbow did more than hold office. She changed the image of power. She proved strength did not have to abandon femininity. That grace could command a nation. That style and substance were not opposites, but allies. Long after her passing, girls would stand before mirrors, adjusting their collars or straightening their posture, whispering her name like a promise. And somewhere in the echo of history, velvet still feels like armor,